Hello everyone, and welcome back to Meshkat English House. I'm Emma, and today we're focusing on one of the most useful skills for English learners, conversation practice.
That's right. Learning vocabulary and grammar is important, but real progress comes when you can actually hold conversations. In this episode, we'll go through 5 key areas: greetings, small talk, asking questions, giving longer answers, and keeping the conversation going.
Conversations often begin with a simple greeting, but the way you start can really set the tone. In formal situations, you might say hello, nice to meet you, or good morning. With friends, it's more natural to say hey, how's it going? Or what's up?
And remember, greetings aren't just about words. Your voice, smile, and body language all make a difference. Even a short hi, how are you? Feels warmer and friendlier when you say it with eye contact and a positive tone.
Also, avoid repeating the same answer every time. Instead of always saying I'm fine, thank you, try something like I'm doing pretty well, just a bit busy, or not bad, I'm looking forward to the weekend. This gives the other person something to respond to.
Exactly. If you give one-word answers, the conversation dies quickly. But if you share a small detail, you open the door for more natural discussion. Small talk is light conversation about everyday topics like the weather, food, or plans. It might feel unimportant, but it helps people feel relaxed and connected.
For example, you could say, it's really sunny today, isn't it? Or looks like it might rain later. These small comments are easy ways to keep a conversation friendly.
And you can build on them with short answers that include details. Yes, it's so hot that I brought extra water, or I hope it doesn't rain, I forgot my umbrella. That way, the chat continues naturally.
Let's try a role play. I'll start. Wow, it's so cold today.
Yeah, I know. I had to wear 2 jackets. I can't wait for summer.
Same here. I miss the sunshine.
After greetings, the next step in most conversations is what we call small talk, which is light conversation about everyday topics like the weather, food, sports, or plans for the weekend. Some learners feel that small talk is unimportant, but in fact, it plays a big role in helping people feel relaxed and connected, especially when you're speaking with someone new.
Exactly. Talking about simple things creates a friendly atmosphere, and it's a safe way to practice English without pressure. For example, you could say something like, it's really sunny today, isn't it? Or looks like it might rain later this afternoon. These kinds of comments may seem small, but they give the other person something easy to respond to. Exactly. Talking about simple things creates a friendly atmosphere, and it's a safe way to practice English without pressure. For example, you could say something like, it's really sunny today, isn't it? Or looks like it might rain later this afternoon. These kinds of comments may seem small, but they give the other person something easy to respond to.
And when you respond, it's better to add a little detail instead of just agreeing. For example, instead of only saying yes, it's hot, you could say yes, it's so hot that I had to bring an extra bottle of water with me. That extra sentence shows interest and keeps the conversation moving naturally.
Let's do a quick role play. I'll start. Wow, it's so cold today.
Yeah, I know. I had to wear 2 jackets this morning, and I still felt freezing. I can't wait for summer to come back.
Same here. I really miss the sunshine because it makes everything feel more cheerful. One of the strongest tools for keeping a conversation alive is asking questions, because questions invite the other person to share more. If you only make statements, the talk might stop quickly, but questions keep it going.
That's right. And the best kind of questions to ask are open-ended ones, questions that start with what, where, when, why, or how. These questions can't be answered with just yes or no. For example, instead of asking, do you like music? You can ask, what kind of music do you like? That way, the other person has more space to explain.
Another example is with weekend plans. Instead of asking, did you have a good weekend? Which usually ends with yes or no, you could ask, what did you do over the weekend? This question opens the door for more details and a longer exchange.
Let's try a role play. So, Emma, what did you do last weekend?
I went hiking with a few friends. The weather was amazing, and we had a picnic on the mountain, which made it even more enjoyable. How about you, Jack?
Nice. I watched a new movie that I had been waiting for, and it turned out to be really exciting and fun to watch. Now, let's talk about another common challenge. Many learners give very short answers when someone asks them a question, which makes the conversation feel unnatural and end too quickly. For example, if someone asks, "Do you like sports?" and you only say yes, the other person might not know what else to ask.
That's true, but the good news is that you can make your conversations much more interesting by simply adding one or two more sentences. For example, if someone asks, "Do you like sports?" you could say, "Yes, I really enjoy football. I usually play twice a week with my friends, and I love watching big matches on TV as well." Suddenly, the other person has a lot more to respond to.
Exactly. The same is true for other topics, like music or food. If someone asks, "Do you like music?" instead of saying "Yes, I do," you could say, "Yes, I really enjoy pop music. My favorite artist is Taylor Swift, and I listen to her songs almost every day when I'm studying or relaxing." That sounds much more natural and shows your personality.
So the rule here is simple: avoid stopping at one-word answers. Add an extra detail or example, and your conversations will immediately feel longer and more enjoyable. The final skill we'll talk about today is how to keep a conversation going. This is not only about asking more questions, but also about showing that you are listening carefully and that you are interested in what the other person is saying.
Yes, this is called active listening, and it makes conversations feel alive. For example, if someone tells you they went hiking, you can respond with, "That sounds great. Where did you go?" Or, "Really? I've always wanted to try hiking myself." These little reactions make the conversation flow naturally and show that you're engaged.
Another simple trick is to connect their experience with your own. If someone says, "I had pizza last night," you could reply with, "Nice, I love pizza too. My favorite is pepperoni, but sometimes I like trying new toppings." By connecting, you make the conversation feel more like a real exchange instead of just a question and answer session.
I like to think of a conversation like a tennis match. You don't just hit the ball once and walk away, you keep hitting it back and forth. The same is true with speaking: you share something, the other person responds, and then you build on it together.
So today we covered 5 key parts of English conversation practice. We started with greetings, which set the tone for friendly and confident communication. Then we talked about small talk, which helps you connect with people in simple but meaningful ways.
We also practiced asking open-ended questions, because those are the questions that keep the other person talking. Then we looked at giving longer answers, which make you sound more natural and give your partner more to respond to. And finally, we finished with tips on keeping the conversation going by listening actively and sharing your own experiences.
If you want to improve your speaking, remember that it's not just about knowing words or grammar rules. It's about using those words to connect with people, to show interest, and to keep the conversation alive. Even a short chat about the weather can become real practice if you add details and ask questions.
So our advice is simple: practice these 5 skills as often as you can. Try them with friends, classmates, or even by speaking to yourself at home. The more you practice, the more confident you'll feel, and the easier it will be to enjoy conversations in English.
Thanks so much for joining us today. We hope this episode gave you ideas you can use right away in your daily practice.
This is Jack from Meshkat English House.
And this is Emma. Take care, keep practicing, and we'll see you in the next episode.